Welcome back to the Revenge Chronicles, the place where real stories of betrayal, heartbreak, and shocking revenge come to life. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you don't want to miss what happens next in today's story. Now, listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you is something I never imagined could happen in my own family. I still remember the night I found out the truth like it just happened yesterday. My husband was asleep, his phone buzzing softly on the nightstand. Normally, I never snooped. But something in my gut had been whispering to me for months, a quiet, relentless unease that I couldn't shake. I reached over, opened his phone, and there it was, a picture of him, smiling, with a woman and 2 kids. The caption said, "Family dinner night." My blood ran cold. My husband, the man I'd spent 4 years of my life loving, trusting, and building a future with, had a whole other family. Tell me, what would you have done if you were me? Would you confront him right away, or would you wait, just to see how deep the lies went? When I met Daniel, he was everything I thought I wanted in a man. Charming, kind, attentive. He had this calm, protective energy that made me feel safe in a way I hadn't felt in years. We met at a coffee shop on a rainy afternoon. I spilled my latte all over my blouse, and he rushed to hand me napkins, laughing softly as he joked that, "It's the universe's way of starting conversations." I remember blushing, embarrassed but secretly thrilled. From there, things just clicked. We started seeing each other every weekend, and within 6 months, we were inseparable. My friends adored him, my parents were relieved that I'd finally found someone who seemed serious, and I believed with all my heart that he was the one. He told me he was divorced, that his ex-wife couldn't handle his long hours at work, and they'd drifted apart. It sounded sad but not suspicious. He even showed me what looked like divorce papers one night, saying, "I just want you to know you'll never have to worry about the past coming between us." I should have seen the red flags. He avoided talking about her too much, brushed off questions about where he lived before we met, and always said he wanted to start fresh. I thought it was romantic. Now I know it was strategic. When we got married, it felt like a dream. A small ceremony at a vineyard outside the city. Just us, close friends, and family. He cried when he read his vows, real tears, and I remember thinking, how could anyone fake that? I didn't know yet that liars can cry too, especially the good ones. For the first couple of years, everything was perfect. We moved into a cozy house, started talking about kids, and even got a golden retriever we named Max. But slowly, cracks started showing. He'd go on business trips that always seemed to come up at the last minute. His phone was practically glued to his hand, and he'd panic if I picked it up. Once, I noticed he had 2 different email accounts, but when I asked, he brushed it off as work stuff. I wanted to trust him, so I did. Love makes you blind, and in my case, it made me stupid. The night I found that picture, the one that shattered everything, I didn't confront him right away. I wanted answers first. I copied the photo, scrolled through the chat thread, and what I found made my stomach twist. Dozens of messages between him and a woman named Lydia. Pictures of birthdays, school plays, holidays. He wasn't divorced. He was still married. And those 2 kids? His children. He'd been living a double life, splitting his time between 2 homes, 2 wives, 2 versions of himself. I couldn't sleep that night. I sat on the kitchen floor, shaking, crying silently while Max rested his head on my lap. My whole life felt like a lie. I thought about confronting him, about throwing him out, about calling Lydia. But then something colder, deeper started brewing inside me, not just anger but resolve. I decided I wouldn't just expose him. I'd make sure he'd regret betraying me. When he woke up that morning, I acted normal. I kissed him goodbye as he left for work and told him I'd cook his favorite dinner that night. The moment the door shut, I got to work. I hired a private investigator, told him everything, and within days I had every detail of Daniel's secret life. His address with Lydia, the kids' names, even the school they went to. It was all there, like a puzzle I didn't want to see completed. A week later, I drove to that address. My hands trembled as I sat in my car across the street, watching him walk out of the house, kiss Lydia on the cheek, and hug one of the kids before getting into his car. That image is seared into my memory. I wasn't the only Mrs. Daniels in his life, I was the backup plan. The safety net. That evening, I finally confronted him. I waited until after dinner, when he was relaxed, sipping wine, scrolling through his phone. I said, "How's Lydia?" His face froze. He looked up slowly, eyes wide, lips parting like he was about to say something but couldn't find the words. I slid my phone across the table, the pictures, the messages, the proof. "I know everything," I said. Every single lie. He tried to talk his way out of it, of course. "It's complicated," he said. "I was trying to protect you. I didn't want to lose you." He even cried, saying he'd leave her, that he wanted to be with me. Part of me wanted to scream, to hit him, to make him feel the pain I felt. But instead, I stayed calm. Too calm. I told him I needed time to think, that maybe we could work things out if he was honest with me from now on. His relief was almost pathetic. He hugged me, thanking me for being understanding, saying I was the best thing that ever happened to him. But he didn't know I was already planning the second chance he'd regret for the rest of his life. For the next few weeks, I played the perfect wife. I smiled, cooked his favorite meals, even planned a little getaway weekend for us. Meanwhile, I was collecting everything: bank statements, documents, photos, proof of his fraud. Because here's the twist, he wasn't just cheating emotionally. He'd been using my income to cover expenses for his other family. My money had been paying for their vacations, their house upgrades, even the kids' private school. That's when love turned to pure vengeance. Before I tell you what I did next, I want you to pause for a moment and think, what would you have done if you were me? Would you walk away quietly, or would you make him feel the weight of every lie he ever told? I want to hear it. Comment below and tell me if I went too far, because what I did next changed everything. I decided to give him exactly what he asked for, a second chance. Only this time I was in control. I told him I forgave him, that we could start over. He was ecstatic. He started talking about buying a new house, just for us, promising a new chapter. I played along, even helped him start the paperwork. But I made sure everything was in his name: mortgage, bills, credit. I used his social security information, the ones he'd carelessly shared when we were still happy, to tie every expense to him. Meanwhile, I quietly transferred all my savings into a separate account and changed my will. When the new house deal closed, I told him I'd move in after my business trip. He moved in first, eager to prove himself. That weekend, while he was settling in, I sent Lydia a package. Every message, photo, and document proving his double life. I included a note. "From one wife to another, you deserve the truth." Within 24 hours, his two worlds collided in a storm of chaos. Lydia threw him out. His reputation at work took a hit when his family values persona crumbled. He called me, screaming, begging me to explain why I'd done it. I calmly told him that was his second chance. He'd asked for one and I gave it, a chance to start fresh, alone, with nothing. I reminded him that the new house, the one in his name, was now his full responsibility. The loans, the debt, the payments. I told him I'd already filed for divorce, citing infidelity and financial deceit, and that my lawyer would contact him soon. Then I blocked his number. For weeks after, I kept getting calls from mutual friends who said he was spiraling. Drinking, losing his job, trying to repair things with Lydia, who wanted nothing to do with him. I felt not happy exactly, but powerful. I'd given him the illusion of forgiveness only to pull the rug out from under him when he least expected it. Revenge doesn't heal the hurt, but it sure makes the wound sting a little less. Months later, I ran into Lydia at a grocery store. She looked tired but calm. We talked for a bit, awkwardly at first, then honestly. She told me she'd suspected something for years but could never prove it. I told her I was sorry she had to find out that way. Surprisingly, she thanked me. Said that as painful as it was, at least now she knew the truth. We hugged before parting ways, and for the first time in months, I felt at peace. Life after Daniel wasn't easy, but it was real. I focused on myself, therapy, travel, rediscovering who I was before all the lies. Max and I moved to a small apartment downtown, and for the first time in forever, I didn't feel like I was walking on eggshells. I even started dating again, cautiously. I wasn't ready to trust yet, but I was ready to live. Sometimes I still think about him. Not because I miss him, but because I marvel at how easily people can hide their true selves. How someone can look you in the eyes and tell you they love you while living a whole other life. But I also think about how strong I became because of it. I learned that forgiveness doesn't always mean letting someone back in. Sometimes, forgiveness is closing the door, locking it, and walking away with your head held high. So, was I wrong for what I did? For setting him up to face his own lies? Maybe some people will say I went too far. But when someone plays with your heart, your trust, and your life, they deserve to face the consequences. I didn't just want revenge, I wanted closure. And I got it. If you were on my side, like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Would you have done the same thing? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, and I'll see you all in the next one.